I'm joined now from Canberra by the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg. Treasurer, thanks for joining the latest tonight.
Good evening. Nice to be with you, Michael.
Now, these figures only include a couple of weeks of lockdown in New South Wales. Some economists today saying the true rate of unemployment could be as high as 6%. In your opinion, just how skewed is the picture that the figures portray today?
Well, it's not a full picture because, as you say, it just takes into account weeks 2 and 3 of the New South Wales lockdown. But importantly, it does underline that the Australian economy remains remarkably resilient. Normally, we'd be celebrating such a number, but with millions of Australians in lockdown tonight and the economy having been pretty severely hit by the consequences of those health restrictions, we need to understand fully what is the data that came out today.
You talk about the resilience of the national economy at the big picture level, and that is true. Some of our agricultural prices are good, mining's still strong. What about the corner shop economy, the shop retailer, the people that are paying rent with no income at all at the moment?
Well, they are really doing it tough, and they've done it tough not just for the last few weeks of the New South Wales or Victorian lockdowns, but they've done it tough over the course of this pandemic. It's important that this is a Team Australia moment. We all work together, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that is the momentum building around our vaccination program. In the last 24 hours, 309,000 jabs have been delivered. That's 215 a minute. It's a record number. And we are moving towards that 70–80% vaccination rate for the nation, which is, of course, the target that we're seeking. And based on the Doherty Institute analysis, it's at that time that the transmissibility of the virus reduces, that stringent lockdowns, we're told, are unlikely, and, of course, the number of people who are severely sick gets dramatically reduced as well.
The problem is with the vaccination figures at the moment, and there's no doubt we've turned a corner. It's getting much better. Those numbers, those statistics are very, very good. But many people don't know what it looks like at the end. How the messaging about how Australia is going to live or learn to live with COVID is not clear. There's no guarantee that state borders will be permanently lifted and not just snap back into place at the will of the local premiers. I think that's a difficult problem at the moment, and there's fear setting in. What is fear doing to Australia and the economy right now?
Well, Michael, premiers will have no excuses when we get to that 70 and 80%. They have signed up to the Doherty Institute analysis and modelling, and it does show, and this is the best medical advice available, not just in Australia, indeed around the world, it does show that when you hit that 70% number, that stringent lockdowns become unlikely. They're the words of the Doherty Institute. The states, they can't count. They shouldn't have any expectation that there will be Commonwealth emergency economic assistance like we're rolling out the door at that point in time. We have to learn to live with the virus. We can't eliminate it. There will be cases. But Australians watching your program tonight need to know that is the light at the end of the tunnel. You get vaccinated, you make yourself safer, you make your family safer, but you also enable the economy to open up, which makes your job safer, and people can start to get about their lives in a COVID-safe way.
I know you've got to go to the next interview, but let me ask you before you go, the subject of refugees. You're the son of refugees yourself, Treasurer. Your personal feelings on the decision to accept only 3,000 Afghanistan refugees and your thoughts on that situation?
Well, as the Prime Minister said today, that is a floor, not a ceiling. And we're continuing to evaluate the circumstances, obviously, and our ability to provide more relief to more people. But that is not an insignificant number. 3,000 places out of our humanitarian program. As you know, we've provided support to more than 8,000 Afghanis already over recent years. I think Australians understand why we left, but they're saddened by what's left behind because it is a very tragic situation there in Afghanistan.
All right, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, thanks for your time tonight.
My pleasure.